Hello, Namaskar. Welcome to my pod, the CAA Show. CAA, as all of you know, is Conversations and Analysis. My name is Juggi Bhasin. Now that the Maharashtra elections are over and a very decisive verdict has been achieved and a government now has been formed out there, it is absolutely clear to me that the BJP is going after the LOP, that is the leader of the opposition. The gloves are off and they had been holding back for quite some time. And obviously they wanted to secure not only Haryana but certainly Maharashtra. And now that they have done that, and they are absolutely secure at least for the next 2 years, because the next big test would be the UP elections, assembly elections in 2027. The NDA government is absolutely secure at the moment. The partners are all with the NDA and now they are going after the LOP. And why do I say that? Because of the statements which have been made by Samit Patra, and nobody has refuted those statements, where Samit Patra has called the LOP as a traitor of the highest order. These are not ordinary words. These are not words which have been said in heat. These are very deliberate words, thought about, this policy, this thinking behind it. There probably a lot of thought has gone behind it, because it is absolutely clear that the BJP now is coming in attack mode. I want to discuss this issue in this podcast today, but I'm also going to discuss another issue in this podcast. And that is the visit of the Foreign Secretary, Vikram Misri, who is going to Bangladesh. And contrary to popular opinion, where a lot of people feel that he's going to talk sense maybe to the Bangladesh government, try and reset ties with the Bangladesh interim government, I don't think so. That is the real reason. I think the real reason is that this government, that is our government, is creating now an alibi before eventually they crack down on Bangladesh. And I will explain to you what I mean by that. I'm going to expand on both these issues in this podcast. I'm going to talk about all that. But as usual, before I do that, I would urge all of you to please subscribe to my channel, the CAA Show. It's very simple, really. All you have to do is to press that red button, as you can see on your screen. Subscription is completely free, and would also really appreciate if you could like the video and share this video with your friends, your colleagues, and your peers. Okay, that was my message. But now let's dive back into this very, very interesting these two issues which are going on in Indian politics right now. Now, what's happening on the political stage? There are some very interesting developments which are going on. The first thing is, let me first try and start by giving you a slightly interesting example, then I will explain what's happening on the political front. There is a concept in Christianity where the knights, that is the medieval knights in Christianity, they have undertaken a lot of those journeys where they went in search of something called the Holy Grail. Nobody knows what the Holy Grail looks like, but the Holy Grail is a mythical object. And if you achieve and find the Holy Grail, then the Holy Grail is supposed to have miraculous powers, and therefore you achieve real power, a lot of power, and you can do anything. You can transform the world with it. That's the concept of the Holy Grail. Now, I believe that the BJP has found its Holy Grail by the slogan given by Yogi, "Batenge to katenge." That is the Holy Grail of the BJP. This slogan has transformed the fortunes of the BJP completely. And if you remember, it was only a few months back, that is in the June of this year, when the BJP was completely down in the dumps, where they scraped through, I would say, with a kind of a patchy victory in the general elections. They had lost so many seats, as we all know that. But they have come back, and what a comeback this has been. And it is riding on the shoulders, it is on the wave of this particular slogan, "Batenge to katenge." That's the first part we need to remember. This is the Holy Grail of the BJP. And number two, something else is also very apparent in Indian politics right now. There has been what we call a closing of ranks in the pantheon of the saffron, the outfits. the RSS and the BJP especially have closed ranks. Now, whatever the internal politics, the internal dynamics between the RSS and the BJP, we don't need to know that. It's not important, because now on the surface at least they are one. The kind of legwork which the RSS has done both in Haryana and in Maharashtra is extraordinary. It has been the primary force really which has secured the elections for the BJP. So there's been a closing of ranks. And talking of closing of ranks, there have also been these all kinds of rumors that the Yogi was getting a lot of problems, facing a lot of problems from Keshav Prasad Maurya, his deputy CM. But now you see a lot of pictures, you see a lot of videos, which are the recent ones where Keshav Prasad Maurya is standing next to Yogi. They're both smiling for the cameras. There might be internal differences, we don't know. But at least there is a closing of ranks in the public. And also a very significant thing. At the Maharashtra CM and the Deputy CM swearing in, which happened only a few days back, there were two very interesting visuals which need a little bit of talking about. The first was that the Home Minister Amit Shah very warmly met Yogi, and therefore it put to rest rumors that there was a huge amount of friction between Yogi and Amit Shah. That was the first one. And the second one was, of course, that the NDA allies, that is Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar, they were there along with the rest of the BJP chief ministers. They were all standing on stage showing a cohesion, showing a unity in the NDA ranks. And therefore all these developments buttressed by this very powerful slogan, "Batenge to Katenge," has changed the fortunes of the BJP and has given confidence to the BJP now to come after the leader of the opposition. And also something very interesting is also going on. There is what I call a bad cop and a good cop routine of the BJP, which is now, to my mind, is pretty evident in the public fora. And what is this bad cop, good cop routine? The bad cop routine is taken up by Yogi by his very, I would say, a cutting edge slogan, "Batenge to Katenge." But the more refined version of that slogan, the good cop version of that slogan, is given by the Prime Minister, "Ek hai to safe hai." It means the same thing actually. They are two sides of the same coin, but there is this, I would say, the good cop and the bad cop routine. The Prime Minister is seen to be more he seemed to be more accommodating, a man who embraces everybody, and Yogi is the cutting edge, the cutting edge part of the BJP, which is now apparent to everyone. So these are the dynamics which are changing, which are taking place in the political space. And what is also happening very interestingly is that the narrative of the opposition, especially the Congress party, has been turned on its head by the BJP. The Congress thought they would come after the government, the present government, by the Adani issue. But that entire thing has been turned on its head. And this call of a traitor of the highest order, this call now is, at one level, of course, it is very inflammatory, but at another level, it shows the intent of the BJP that now they are not holding back any punches. The gloves have come off, and they are now going to go after the LOP and take, in what we say in Hindi, badla for all the insults and all the remarks made by the LOP when, after the June elections, when Parliament assembled. And we all know what was happening during that time. And it was very clear at that time the BJP was on a back foot, but now that situation has completely reversed. And see how they are doing it. They're doing it in a very interesting way. They have taken up this OCCRP report. And everybody knows the word of George Soros is being used, but to my mind, it is not so much George Soros now. Now the BJP is actually, and I'll tell you how they are doing it, they are actually laying a finger that foreign forces, in translation it means forces within the State Department in the United States, are in league with the LOP, and they are out to create economic chaos and destabilize the country. That is really actually what is going on. And how they're doing it, they're doing it in a very interesting way. See, some of us podcasters, we had been arguing in June and July and we were analyzing the debacle of the BJP when they lost so many seats, that why this was happening. And one of the reasons we gave was that the spokespersons of the BJP were not effective. But now they have just completely changed. And a lot of younger spokespersons have been brought in who are very, very aggressive, who are not shying from saying it clearly. And also, if you notice clearly, now the spokesperson, not so much subtly, but almost directly, now they are criticizing the State Department, because they know that the Biden administration is literally, it's going. Obviously, it has to go in a matter of weeks now. They are not shying from criticizing. And also, see how the BJP it is deploying its resources. Mahesh Jetmalani, the suave, but the very, very powerful face of the BJP, he's a member of the BJP and a very prominent lawyer. He is not mincing any words in all his interviews, whether it was on the Adani issue or other issues. He is criticizing the State Department, the forces within the State Department that are probably, that have a stake in the OCCRP, or which have been, trying to, as the alleged allegation goes, trying to spread economic chaos in India. So what the BJP really right now is doing is that the gloves have come off. Now they are saying that, in a way, what they are conveying is that our hopes now rest with the incoming Trump administration. We're going to now talk about all that was being done against us by these elements within the State Department, because George Soros is just the face, but the real targeting, but the real finger pointing is actually going on to these elements within the State Department. Let's not make any mistakes about that. This is actually the real thing which is going on right now. And it is quasi spokesperson of the BJP, because Mahesh Jetmalani is not a spokesperson of the BJP. He's attached to the BJP in a certain way. But he's, of course, a very powerful, very senior, very prominent independent lawyer, advocate. But he still, in a way, is a voice of the BJP to that extent, of the NDA government. And the suave face of Mahesh Jetmalani, combined with the direct attacks of the stormtroopers, spokespersons of the BJP, like Samit Patra, for instance. Now it's hell for leather, as they say. They are laying the blame where a lot of people feel, where they should have laid a long time back, but they're doing that now. So this is the big change which has come in the politics, and this gives the confidence. This gives the impetus. This gives the drive to the BJP now to go after the LOP. And I think, to my mind, the opposition is in a disarray. We all know the differences that have cropped up between Akhilesh and between Rahul and between Mamata Banerjee is now saying that, give me the reins of the India Alliance and I can manage that much, much better. She doesn't see eye to eye with the Congress. AAP is also now fighting elections alone from the Congress in Delhi. That disarray has happened, which was bound to happen once they have lost elections. The disarray is also happening in Maharashtra, where there are no takers for Uddhav Sena. That also is happening. That process is speeding up. And therefore, this is that right time, the exact time the BJP has chosen its time now to go after the LOP. That is, I think, one of the big things. And we will see more and more developments which are happening. Let's see if they go after and they urge a speeding up of the trial of the National Herald case, a lot of other things. But the earlier narrative where the Congress was going after the Prime Minister and the NDA government generally, I think that has been turned on its head. And now it's the BJP which is now hunting. I'm using the word hunting deliberately. It is now hunting and going after especially the Congress party. So that's what is going on. Now let's talk a little bit about Bangladesh. This is also very interesting because there's so much which is going on in that country which has a direct impact on our country. And a lot of people were wondering that what is the need for the Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri to go to Bangladesh? Are we trying to placate the Bangladeshis? Are we trying to offer the olive branch that guys, we need a good relationship. There has to be a good relationship because we believe in this neighborhood first policy and we need good relations with Bangladesh. We have already have, very, very strained ties of obviously with Pakistan. Ties with China are on the mend, but still we are very, very cautious. And so the last thing we want is a Bangladesh? I don't think so. I don't think so. That is the objective, or this is my assessment, that the government probably has come to a conclusion with after a lot of deliberation that things in Bangladesh are now irretrievable. The Islamization, it was already there, but the good thing what Sheikh Hasina was doing was she was keeping it under the lid. But that Islamization, that radicalization of Bangladesh is now way, way too deep for it to be reversed back, for things to go back to normal. It is bound to go the way of countries like Syria, ISIS kind of people coming in, radical people coming in. That's bound to happen. People have accepted the fact, so that begs the question at why is Vikram Misri going to Bangladesh? And I think the reason for that is because India is preparing, and this is my hypothesis, that India is preparing a case. That guys, we are ticking all the boxes, that tomorrow if we take action against Bangladesh, and I'll talk about that action, what kind of action India could be contemplating, that tomorrow if we take action against Bangladesh, we have went out of the way to drive home sense into the Bangladeshis, into the interim government of Muhammad Yunus, that you need to protect the minorities. The minorities have to feel safe in Bangladesh. We tried a level best. We even sent a foreign secretary out there. That's the reason, that's the purpose of Misri's visit to Bangladesh. It is not so much, as I said, to reset ties, but rather to create an alibi, rather to create a case which will be put forward in front of the world community a little later, that India tried its level best to make this intransigent regime in Bangladesh come to its senses, but they never listened to us. And then we were left with no choice but to crack down on Bangladesh. A bit like the Russia-Ukraine equation. Russia also makes this case that we tried a level best. We offered peace to them. We were ready to go the extra mile, but Ukraine was not listening. Something similar kind of a strategy, I think, is unfolding out here. And you would be asking me that what kind of action? Well, the action would be very simply, it's not that you're immediately going to go to war with Bangladesh, but it is going to be huge amount of a closing of the border. When we talk of closing of the border, please understand what it means. It means that you don't allow people to come in, because if they are trying to come in, then the BSF and all that can actually open fire. That's the first thing we need to understand. And number two, also the fact that there is huge economic leverage which India has over Bangladesh. It has been said now, a lot of people know about it, but if you did not know, then you should know that the biggest export of Bangladesh is textile. There are textile products and which go all over the world, but the raw material for the textile, that is cotton, comes from India. So we're going to stop that. Electricity supply could also be completely disrupted, but more important, the supply of fresh fruits, vegetables, eggs, meat, a lot of other things which go from India to Bangladesh. Bangladesh has nothing of that. All that could come to a stop, a complete stop. And I'm arguing, I don't know why this still hasn't come out, but there is a possibility later, if even then Bangladesh doesn't come to its senses, then the next step would be barricading, a kind of a barricading of the Chittagong port by Indian Navy, and we can easily do that. We have the means, and tomorrow if the Bangladeshis are even more intransigent, then of course we have our air bases very nearby and the Air Force can be pressed into action. But that again is probably rung number 9 or 10 on the escalatory ladder. That is a long, long way away, I think. But you never know in this very dynamic, seething cauldron which has now become Bangladesh. I unfortunately foresee that a massacre of Hindus might just happen in Bangladesh. I wouldn't be very surprised. It's all happening there in Bangladesh. India will have no choice but to act. And if you notice very, very clearly, in a very interesting way, the Chief Minister of West Bengal is coming on the side of the BJP government. I'm not saying they are allies or anything of that sort, but the Chief Minister realizes, Mamata Banerjee realizes that this is a very, very dynamic, volatile situation. It can have this huge spillover effect in West Bengal, and therefore she is supporting government initiatives, and the government is actually now ticking the boxes. Vikram Misri's trip to Bangladesh is a tick of the boxes that we tried a level best. We sent our foreign secretary there. We were trying Muhammad Yunus to come to his senses, but this 83-year-old man is completely intransigent. He's lost his marbles, literally. That's what the Indian government is going to argue later on. We are actually making a case for the world community that do we have a choice? We had no choice but to intervene, but to stop this intransigent, Islamicized, radical regime for creating problems not only for the Hindu community in Bangladesh, but for creating problems in the northeastern states. Because what happens in Bangladesh affects not only West Bengal, but even the northeastern states. And therefore, we had no choice but to act, because believe you me, I foresee that action is coming. There is no other way. The radicalization of the Bangladeshi government, the powers to be in Bangladesh, is not going to stop. There is no way it's going to stop. It is going to continue. It's going to be actually become even worse than what is happening in Pakistan. This place is going to become another Syria. Mark my words. So that is what is going on the international stage. So these are two developing stories. The political muscle of the BJP as it goes after the LOP, and the developments in Bangladesh, which now are to that extent the government becomes more confident how to deal with it after having secured Maharashtra, being more assured politically. It has the confidence to not only go after internal opposition but to go after external aggression also. That is what is going on right now on the subcontinental stage, I would say. Interesting stories which are developing. We will watch and see how these stories unfold. And as usual, I would end this podcast by urging all of you to subscribe to my channel again. I'm repeating again, very simple. All you have to do is press that red button on your screen, because then you get privy to very interesting podcast with a totally different we have ideas which, as you can see, are completely different, brought to you in a very different way. So go for it, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching, and cheers till next time.